Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to Bridges of Light show this evening. My name is Bridie Hughes, and I'm going to present the show this evening on barriers that we create to prevent us progressing at the level that we are capable of doing. We have a number of things that... Hi, Evelyn. And Shauna, how are you? Lovely to see you here. It's something that we all face at different times, and as I said in the earlier write-up today, we create barriers in our minds that actually influences how we see life. And I, Evelyn, we literally have these blocks that we create in our mind from maybe early childhood, from no particular source at times, Shauna, and to you, love, and to you, that we have so many things that we experience, and we carry the effects of those events and experiences with us. Leslie, how are you? All the way from Paris. We have to sometimes stop and think, where are the barriers coming from? What is preventing us from materializing what is our right as a human being and as someone on a soul's journey? And Evelyn is here this evening, and Evelyn's going to be a guest on our show at a later time, and because she's an expert on this field, because she has written a book, a life, sorry if I haven't got it right, A Life You Wish. That was because I was going to talk about it at an earlier stage in the show anyway. Okay, so it's something we actually create in our minds. We create these barriers, and it's just, the focus of this will be on mediumship and what it is. Hi, Rocco. The focus extends to everyday life, because we have such, I suppose, experiences in our lives that knocked us at different times when we were relying on having our own common sense and our own ability to make progress, and through different things happening. Joan, hi from Spain, international, because I feel that Rocco would be coming in from Italy, so it's lovely to see the international flavour. So we're going to look and see what it is that, what's the different elements of the blocks that we have. We can only work with something when we know what we're looking for. We can't actually start to address something if we don't know what we're addressing. So if you take a moment, because later on we're going to look at doing a meditation that will help us to focus and help us to relieve the energy from those blocks, because that's what's important, is to actually look at anything that's going on for us in the negative, to look at it as energy, that we're giving something. So when we start to look at the blocks, and as I say, I'll refer to mediumship, but just take it on the much wider scale than that. That you the first thing that you say, it's in my mind, I can't say that. So what is stopping us from saying what we're seeing, what we're hearing, what we're feeling? That's the difficult part, to actually come to terms with what is something that it's not tangible, because our feelings sometimes are fed by insecurities, by past experiences. So we're going to have a little look at that as the hour goes on. We have a number of things that we'll actually look at, a number of emotions that we'll actually look at, and that will help us to focus on the cause. Because when you start to identify what's going on for you, then it's easier to see what you have to do and how you can work with it. So when we look at just put this phone out of the way because it'll fall on me. One of the biggest barriers is judgment. We have a fear of judgment, especially coming from, hello Damo, lovely to see you here. We're afraid of judgment on ourselves, on the core of ourselves. The mind is one thing that we know we actually process so much in our mind every day. But we also have to be aware that our mind has the ego. And the ego is about building ourselves up. There's nothing wrong with the ego once it's kept in tune, once it's kept at a level that is rational, knows that there are limits and reasoning for everything that goes on in our lives. Thank you, Damo. Look forward to seeing you early next year. We'll be working together again, won't we? So we'll look at that. We look at how we can see life from a different perspective than judgment on ourselves. Ambra, how are you? You're welcome. Buonasera. I'm great at Italian, especially when it's written in front of me. So being judged, we grew up with a lot of baggage about judgments. We were characterized as being maybe the rebel, especially within mediumship, because as mediums we tend to try to burst out of our skin when we're young. We behave in a different way because we're actually being influenced by the power of spirit. So it's that's something that we have to deal with. You have the fact that we might fail. Failing is your greatest teacher, because you look at whatever it is you're doing, and when it fails, there's two things. One, it gives you a lesson. The other is that it may not be for you. It's not part of your life path. It's not your journey. So it's starting to work with what it is that's right for you. And I'll go back to the ego. Will play a part in that, because the ego gives you that power energy. It gives you the knowing from wherever it comes from. Let it be universal energy, you call it. Let it be the God force. Hi, Eileen. Let it be whatever name you want to call on it, but it is an energy that's there, and the ego can actually utilize that energy. So let us just see where it is that you actually want to be with that energy of failing. I'm sure if I asked each and every one of you what aspect of your life did you feel was a failure? And very often I know people will come up and say, well, I didn't perform in school the way that I was expected to. So, you can read straight away what was the expectations, where was the expectations coming from. So that's the first step, that you ask yourself the straightforward question as to what it is that you're looking at. You're carrying the baggage from that particular emotion. So it's very simplistic when you break it down. Difficult when you're looking into it and saying you don't really know where things are coming from. But if you start questioning yourself, you get an answer, and you get 10 questions for that one answer. Believe me, it continues to flow, so you'll never run out of questions. The other part of believe it or not, when we're working with the emotion that is a barrier, is success. And that can be hard to understand, why success can be a barrier. It can be a barrier because when you succeed, what is that going to do for you? you have to heighten, then you have to raise the bar, and you have to then continue on a different level, a level that you're not used to, you're not familiar with. So all of these things, when you take into account, this is where you are. In your mediumship, every one of those emotions comes up in your work. If you're doing a sitting, while you're getting familiar with working in that area, you have all those commands coming at you. Am I going to fail at this? Is it going to be successful? Is the person going to be happy with me? Is spirit going to come through? All of these commands and questions come at you like a 40-foot truck coming down the road. And it's the only way that you can work with confidence is to actually start to believe in yourself. To believe in yourself is the number one priority in any project you take on. Because there's no point in, hello Mary, lovely to see you here too. To believe in yourself, it means that you actually you feel comfortable with what you're doing. Number one, you don't take on doing something that is because someone else wants you to do it. You take on a project because you want to do it. You look at and see where it is that you feel that little bit of discomfort, and then go to delete that. It's great today when we're writing something today, especially when we have cut and paste and laptops and computers, where you can cut things out in your work. Life is like that. You can cut parts out that doesn't apply anymore. So don't allow that barrier to prevent you progressing. As I say, this is mediumship, and it is an area of work that is so difficult to build up the confidence that what you're doing is okay, that it's for you, and you're not going to, it's no such thing as failing. There is the aspect that you want to improve yourself all the time, but apart from that, it's not about failure. We sit in circle for months, years, and in that time, it's about building the confidence that what you're doing is you're on your spiritual journey. Your spirit wouldn't have you, and I think I would have said this many times before to you, that everyone here is mediumistic, because otherwise you wouldn't be interested in coming to watch or listen to me talking, definitely. It wouldn't interest you. So why would you go along? I'm not interested in an awful lot of things, and I definitely wouldn't go near anything that I wasn't interested in. So if you look at your behaviour, you look at your language, you begin to actually own that, and that gives you the answers, part of the answers that you're looking for. When you take that step to actually exploring yourself, just be ready for maybe a few surprises along the way. Because as you start to explore, you find yourself becoming more aware of feelings that's there. Feelings sometimes that you want to deny, feelings that you just don't feel very comfortable with. But sit with them and find out why. We'll start at about 7:30 to do the meditation, and it is about focusing on the different aspects of how you can influence what it is you're feeling and the seat of them. So just don't give up. It's very easy to throw in the towel and say, it's too much of a struggle. We can't. Hi Lynn, it's too much of a struggle, but the struggle is well worth it. The struggle in anything we achieve is like giving birth to the strength that we have. So it's getting into that energy. When you start to believe in your abilities, that's when you start to feel at one with all aspects of yourself, first of all. But you begin to feel that your journey through your mediumship is actually starting to unfold. So you're no longer saying, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that, or it's my imagination, or it's something that's happening, it's nothing to do with me, I'm getting out of this. You actually begin to feel, you begin to be, and that's the greatest feeling, that you actually know you're on the right path. You stop questioning, are you on the right path? That's something that came up very recently in, I'm not going into it, but it came up very recently with a lady who came to talk to me. I need more of this. The gin, I call it. She came up to talk to me, and she said that she'd spent 3 to 4 years sitting in circle, and she didn't feel that what was happening for her was of any value. But looking at the lady, she had the most beautiful green and lovely silver energy around her. That colour was all there. And it was something that, I suppose in honesty, she wasn't getting the opportunity to learn what that meant for her. She wasn't actually being made aware of how beautiful that energy was, that was part of her spirit. And later on, the conversation was broken anyway. We had someone else join us, but later on she came back to me and she said that when she thought, she stood for a few minutes, she said, and thought about what the conversation we had. And she says, you know, the thing about the green, she says, I actually dismissed it. Didn't make herself aware that green was hers. So what I say to you is, don't dismiss anything, because by dismissing it, you actually can lose some of it. So it is a lovely, lovely energy that you'll start to blend with. You'll start to become familiar with all aspects of it. It will become you. Hi, Gaetano. How are you? I hope Gaetano is going to join us some evening here to talk on Bridges of Light. Hi. And Dennis, hi. You're very welcome. So it's opportunities sometimes that you need to actually help you build. I see, okay, Gaetano, I was just saying, I hope you'll be able to join us some evening as a guest. Gaetano is the gentleman who set up Bridges of Light, and all the work that has been going on over the last number of months has been fantastic. And there's over 4,000 members, and we're hoping to actually expand on that over the next few months. But I'll get him to talk about that some evening. But when you stop to think of the number of times that you would have had, that you were experiencing something that wasn't tangible, but you were feeling it in your energy, and you were feeling it in every aspect of yourself, that you couldn't explain it. You need to have someone to actually be able to talk to about that, and to be able to help you build on the confidence that that is your spiritual journey. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen by just taking a notion someday that you're going to find out about this. You have to actually digest it and let it become part of you. I would say mediumship is about every cell in your body. It becomes an antenna for receiving information. But also, if you're in the presence of many mediums that I know of, that I've seen it, it becomes, you actually see it radiate outwards, so that you actually know what they do. You know that they're mediumistic. So it's an energy that's very powerful and very very live, and that's what actually helps to create that beautiful universal energy that we're all part of. So when looking at the fears that we have, because all of those things, rejection, being judged, failing, they're all based in fear. And the fear we bring sometimes from the past, from yesterday, we bring it into today, and then it affects tomorrow. So because we're not living today, we're not living the journey. So as time goes on, just start to be aware of how fear is holding you back. Fear is a positive thing, there's no doubt about that. It helps us to actually be safe as we live day-to-day life. But it's when it becomes erratic, and when it becomes, I suppose, paranoia maybe to some extent, that we fear something's going to happen because of what we're thinking or what we're doing. That's when it becomes irrational, and it starts to become our mental block. Because it is within our minds that we create that. It has to be a very, very gentle way to work with it, because you can't just push it aside. Hi Helen, you're welcome, and Paul, lovely to see you. It has to be done gently, because if you start to rush something, you're not processing it. And processing it is the way to healing. Not just having a quick fix. So you actually end up that as you process it, you begin to see the reason behind it. You begin to see what it is that you need to do to start to heal. Because the healing is a big part of it is mediumship. There's no doubt, no matter what aspect we take in mediumship, it's healing. And that's where the power lies. Within your spirit is the power to heal, because it has to heal the mind. The mind is damaged by different things that has happened to us in our lives, different experiences that have gone on in our lives. So where the power of our spirit, it can actually heal all aspects of ourselves. Good evening, Donato. Hi. So what we look at, one of the things I'll say to you is, if there's questions you want to ask, just put them in on the little window, and we look at what it is. If I can help, I might not have the answers, but if I have, I will share my view, and if not, I'll see if there's someone that I can refer to help you. What we're looking at, thanks Helen, Specsavers has a good offer on at the moment. What we're going to look, hi Fran, you got in. What we're going to look at is the different energies that you can work with to meditate, that will help the healing process. Because the healing is a very beautiful, very fine energy that we work with. It can be done, you can be sitting in Italy, you can be sitting in Australia, and when healing energy, when we open up our hearts and our minds to it, that is what, good evening from Milan, lovely to meet you here. And this is the lovely thing about Gaetano, where he came along and opened up the world to energy that can actually be a benefit to every one of us. The healing we will look at as we travel through the chakras and travel through the energy zones, because I feel at the minute that energies are really, the easiest way of saying it, are running on a high due to fear, because there's a lot of people going through a lot of change in their lives, and I feel within the group here that change is happening, and that we need to actually look at ways to work with that feeling and the fear that's related to that. So before I start with the meditation, I just want to talk to you about what we're going to do, because it's just not, there's a focus in it. The first thing I will ask you to do is to actually be in a place where you're actually going to feel safe and feel that noise is not going to interfere with you. The likes of your phone being switched off. Hi Sylvia, how are you? Lovely to see you here. It's lovely to see people coming back. It does the ego good. Pardon me for saying that. I don't mean that really, but what I wanted to the checklist is that number one, you turn off your phone so that you're not going to be disturbed by that. Number two, that you're sitting in a comfortable chair, not a chair you fall asleep in, because that's one of the biggest problems, is if you're too comfortable, you fall asleep. But an upright chair is the best type of chair to sit on. You just be aware before we start that you actually sit and you listen for the noises that's in your environment. Because one of the things that we find that noises, we engage in the noise if it's something different. If we don't recognise it. Hi Geraldine. If we don't recognise the noise, we engage. What's that? Where is it coming from? Is there something wrong? So our minds become caught up in all of that. That's the second thing. The other thing is to have clothing that you're relaxed and that it's not going to become uncomfortable as you're sitting. Because as you're sitting upright in your chair, it's important that you actually feel comfortable, because otherwise in the midst of the meditation you're going to start to feel edgy and uneasy, and you'll be twisting and you'll be turning. So that's the ground rules for your meditation. The lovely thing about it when we're doing it via this media is that you're not worried about someone watching you. I will be here with my eyes open, because just in case someone needs a help in something that you're not comfortable with. So just what I'll say to you is just find a place, take a few moments to relax, and sit in that for a few moments before we start, and look and see, is there something you need to change, something that you need to take out of your room or wherever that will cause a disruption, and to just listen first to the sounds around you. Okay, so we're going to start with the purpose of this meditation is healing. Healing the old wounds and building confidence and belief in yourself. So just be aware of where you're sitting. sit with your back upright and be aware of your breathing. Don't change your pattern of breathing. Just relax with it. And your breath is going to become the messenger. We begin by breathing in with awareness. And as you breathe out, to relax. And it doesn't matter if your eyes are open, just once you're comfortable. So with the awareness in your breath, anywhere you feel tense or uneasy, just allow your breath to breathe deep into that area. And as you breathe out, just allow the tension, just allow it to leave with the outward breath. We begin by focusing on the base chakra. The base chakra is about power and energy and courage. It's to give you the strength, physical strength, to carry out your wishes. So now as you breathe in, just within your mind, visualize your breath going right down to your base chakra. And as you breathe out, just allow any tension that you feel, just allow it to leave. Releasing and relaxing. And we move up now to the sacral chakra, which is just below the navel. And just allow that energy that as you breathe in, you focus on that area. And with the outward breath, just allow any tension you feel just to leave. Just relaxing and being at ease. And we move up now to the solar plexus, which is just below the ribcage. So with the inward breath, just allow any tension you feel, just allow it to leave with the outward breath. We move up now to the heart chakra. The heart chakra is the seat of emotional feelings. So now as you breathe in, just allow that breath to focus on any emotional pain you're carrying. And just allow it to leave with the outward breath. We move up now to the throat chakra. The chakra that influences communication. Just that may feel tight at times when you want to say something that challenges your emotion. Just be aware of any tension or tightness you feel there. And we move up now to the brow chakra. And as we focus on this chakra, may feel like a tightness in the area here. It's the area of clairvoyance. So now, just as you breathe in, visualize your breath going up to that area, and just allow it to take away any feelings of tightness or blocks that's there. And we move up now to the crown chakra. It's the chakra where we blend with our spirit and universal energy. Just allow that energy to flow. Just be aware that any influence going on in this area can just feel like a heaviness. It can give you a feeling that there's lack of clarity in your thinking. So now just be aware that it's okay for any feelings that you're uncomfortable with to leave with the outward breath. So now you're released the energies that's holding you back. And now we're going to charge the energies centers. And by giving yourself permission to expand your abilities, to be aware of the wisdom that's within. So now we'll just begin with the base chakra. And allow your breath to be that messenger, to take to your base chakra the energy of power, the energy that you need for courage. And this will come in a beautiful red colour. So just sit with that for a moment and allow yourself to feel the red. Allow yourself to saturate your body with red, that energy of empowerment. And we're going to move up now to the sacral chakra. And this chakra vibrates on the colour orange. this is to bring stability into your life. Stability and acceptance of who you are. That beautiful energy of you as a unique human being. We move up now to the solar plexus. That energy of yellow coming in. The yellow allows you to adapt to change, digesting everything that's happening around you, and digesting what is important to you. Just allowing yourself to feel at ease with the changes that's happening. Let us move up now to the heart chakra. The seat of love. Being aware of being loved. There is no greater love than that of your spirit. Non-judgmental, accepting and healing. Feel yourself being filled with the colour pink, just allowing it to heal past experiences that brought out disappointment and hurt. Just allow the pink to radiate through your heart and out into your energy field. We now will move up to the throat chakra. And the energy for this chakra is blue. It heals where there's any restrictions. It's that beautiful blue that will help you to speak your truth. Allow that blue to saturate through your body and out into your aura. sacral chakra, the window to clairvoyance, beautiful energy that vibrates with the colour indigo, that deep, deep blue. Just allow yourself to feel that energy. Become aware of your ability, clairvoyance. Allow it to develop and to trust it. I'm going to move up now to the crown chakra. Its energy has the beautiful violet flame, the connection with the universal spirit. Where we link in with the wisdom of our masters, of our ancestors. That beautiful energy that vibrates so finely just radiates out through your energy field, becoming very aware of your truth. Just allow that beautiful violet colour to radiate through your body out into your aura. And just allow yourself to be at ease. To trust in your spirit. Become aware of how your spirit's journey is the journey that you're on, mentally and physically. So now just be aware of all your energy blending together, becoming one. And you're one human being sharing the journey with your spirit and with the universal spirit. Very unique, very beautiful. Allow your energy to glow and give the freedom for your spirit to experience the journey with you, and not allow separation between mind and spirit. Just be aware of all the energy now radiating through your body. And just allow yourself to move. Just allow your fingers, first of all, your toes, and allow that movement to radiate through your body, bringing about clarity, bringing healing. Hi Amelia, Marion and Helena joined us during the meditation. I hope that during the meditation you were able to find answers, because as you begin to slow yourself down, you can become more aware of what it is you need to do to remedy where there's gaps in your life that you're not sure of. It's something where even spending a couple of moments, thank you, even spending a couple of moments in the day, taking that space to actually be present in yourself. You can't really realize the full benefit of that, because it's something very, very beautiful in it. In so many ways we have so many things we need in life, but the one thing that we need more than anything else is that space to be ourselves and not to feel under the pressure. Because start to think of this journey without blocks. Thanks, Paul, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Think of your life without the blocks. Don't see them. They're gone now. Because as we think, so shall we be, because it's something we can't live at two opposite ends of that. We have to be together, mind, body and spirit. So any of the blocks that you're feeling, start to own them, to work with them, and see life without them. It's so easy to say, yes, I know, but you know, one of the biggest gifts you can give to yourself is accepting yourself as you are, and not being trying to be someone else looking at you, because what someone else thinks doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if someone thinks you're this or you're that. But I know that that's one of the things. Paul, it was lovely working with you down through the years. It was a pleasure. One of the things we realise, I suppose, with age more than anything else, is that there's nothing that anyone's opinion is going to do for you in life, because that's their opinion. Everyone has an opinion, but you have to own who you are. And this journey, I'll go back and say it again, that we're talking mainly here about mediumship. You were chosen long before you were born. You were chosen for this journey. So see that the path you're walking at this present moment in time is very, very precious. You're here as a healer, because the mediumship is one powerful healing power that can be shared with so many people that you come in contact with. And that's where your life can be fulfilled in so many different ways that it's difficult maybe to even start to talk about it, because it changes your life. It changes your life in every aspect. So you don't, it evolves. That, I suppose, would be the easiest way of saying it. Your life evolves into something very different as you accept who you are and what you're able to do. So it doesn't matter if someone blocks you or condemns you, criticises you. You know the strength within you. So don't let anyone say it different, because you're all very beautiful souls that's on a journey, and that journey is about enlightenment It's about your enlightenment, but it's also about other people's enlightenment. And we become teacher, we become pupil at times. It's always exchanges. That's we come to meet people. Sometimes it challenges our very being at times, let's face it. And that, how do you know if you're a medium? Okay, Helen, very good question. You will, first of all, and I don't know, I think you hadn't joined us at the time, everyone here is mediumistic, because you wouldn't be here. Sahara, lovely to see you. Everyone here online at the minute is mediumistic, because you wouldn't be interested in even listening to anything to do with mediumship. But when you become, what happens with mediumship, you have to fine-tune your psychic ability first of all. That's the first step in any development for mediumship. And when you fine-tune your psychic development, what happens then is you start to become aware. You know your whole body then. You know your energy. That's part of your development in the psychic level. But when you become aware of your own energy, then what happens, you start to become aware of an energy drawn close to you that is not yours. So this is why it's important to actually be in development for psychic awareness, because you have to know yourself first before you can actually begin to get to know when someone from the spirit world is joining you. So it's not a quick path, but I know, Helen, you have been doing some work. So it's not a path that you actually can say, yes, I'm going to do 6 weeks, or I'm going to do a term, or go to the college for a week. Or it's not that simple. What you have to do is start to evolve the journey. Let it unfold. You will be taken the way that you're meant to go to actually develop your mediumship. So it's something very, very beautiful, but get to know this physical body, this physical energy that we're made of, and then you get to know your auric field. And when you become at one with all of the self, then you start to become aware of that energy drawn close. And your body becomes the antenna that I mentioned earlier. Every cell in your body becomes an antenna. I maintain that I'm clair-shoulderient because my shoulders feel tall, shorter. No, she's word, of course. But it's very much that way of how we feel. We're coming to the end of the show. Just a few words before I talk to you about your energy. I'm not here in 2 weeks. I'll be here in 4 weeks, and that's the 28th, I think. Yeah, 28th September. There will be some changes as we're going to work with some guests. As I said, Evelyn is here with us this evening. We hope to have Evelyn over the coming months. We also have a face reading analyst coming, an astrologer. So it's an exciting few months ahead of us, and that's just on Gaetano as well. So we'll have a busy time over the next few months. Before we finish, what I just want you to do is, okay, Helen, we can carry on this conversation a different time because we have to come to a close now. We're finished at 8. Thanking you, but I just want you to be aware of your energy, just to see a silver light. I didn't want to bring in the silver light until we were actually finished, because there was some had stayed in that energy. So just be aware of a silver light all around you, and just sit in it for a few moments before you move, so that you're able to allow that healing to continue to take place. I'll leave you in love and light, and thank you all for joining me this evening, and I look forward to seeing you in 4 weeks' time. I hope you have a lovely month of September, and hopefully our weather will be nice. Bless you all.